Hi guys, this is Kenniky. With the close of the first half of 2018 around the corner, I figured I'd take a quick look at some of the players slated for the 2018 Summer SSBMRank to see where their seasons have placed them so far. I'll be focusing more on players that have had kind of weird years, since if I did a video like this on someone like Hungrybox, it would be pretty useless. In this video, I'll be looking at Swedish Delight. Swedish has definitely had a strange year so far. He's been pretty inconsistent, either getting top 8 at majors or getting 17th, so I figured it'd be worth my time to get a closer look at how his year has been going. The approach I'm going to be taking in this video is looking at each of Swedish's performances so far in 2018 and estimating to see how on average he's been doing. Swedish started off the year with a win at Sweet 29, taking 2 sets over Duck and a set over KJH while dropping no sets. This isn't particularly unexpected, but it's still a pretty strong showing from him. Unfortunately, after this came a string of not so great performances. At Genesis 5, Swedish took 33rd, losing to Abate and Ryan Ford while getting no real great wins. Smash Valley 7 and No Fun Allowed 2 had pretty much the same story. Swedish took losses to Zane and Jerry at the former, and Bananas and Mike Hayes at the latter, all of which aren't amazing losses for a player knocking on the door of top 15. Keep in mind at this point in time, Zane was still around the 20th rank. While this isn't necessarily a bad loss for Swedish, it's not a great one either. Meanwhile, the only top 50 win Swedish got in the last 3 tournaments was on Gatsu, which isn't a particularly standout win for him given the rank disparity and the matchup. At his next major, EGLX, Swedish took a disappointing 17th. Here I think it's important to look at how his bracket played out. A loss to Ryan Ford in winners wasn't great, but after making his way through Toph and Crunch, Swedish happened to run into Amsa, who at this point could reasonably be argued to be top 15 after his performance at Genesis 5. Something else to note is that both of the players that Swedish lost to ended up making top 8, indicating the rise that both of them would have in the coming ranks. That being said, Swedish's EGLX wasn't necessarily awful, but it certainly wasn't great, and especially not the showing you would expect from a top 15 player. However, at his next tournament, the Mango, Swedish defeated Westbells, Cyrox, Army, and Kalamazoo to get first, again without dropping a set. Although some might say the Mango shouldn't count for rankings due to the casual nature of the tournament, I'm pretty sure that most, if not all of Swedish's good wins here were sober, so I think that his win here is about as legitimate as it gets. At Full Bloom 4 the next week, Swedish lost the Hugs early, but he was able to get a top 10 win in Axe before losing to PPU. Both of the players that Swedish lost to here are close enough in rank to him that losing to them isn't too big of a deal. Hugs especially at this point was considered to be about a top 15 level player. A win over Axe was also pretty impressive, so all in all, Full Bloom was a pretty good tournament for Swedish Delight. A few weeks later, Swedish entered the Scarlet Classic 4. Unfortunately, he didn't do well here, losing to Rishi and Absent Page, who are 2 top 35-ish level players at this point, for 4th place. After this, however, came a string of tournaments where Swedish returned to a top 15 level of play. At Flatiron, Swedish took a solid 5th place, defeating Zane and Lon while taking losses to Lucky and Pew Pew, which is a pretty good showing. Get On My Level 2018 saw another top 8 finish from Swedish, where he got 7th by beating Crush, KJH, and Netherlands Amsla, while losing to La Luna and Japan Amsla. Although Swedish is definitely favored against La Luna, it isn't a bad loss by any means, and wins on arguably top 12 Crush and arguably top 20 KJH are pretty solid. At Combo Breaker the following week, he took a 3rd win over Duck, as well as beating Absent Page and Ginger to get 2nd, losing only to KJH. Like I said before, I think that KJH was arguably top 20 at this point, although that's a topic for another video, so this isn't a bad showing at all. Smash and Splash unfortunately had a similar story to EGLX. Swedish was knocked out of winners by Hungrybox and immediately eliminated by QPU, and didn't get any other chances to take sets off of top 100 players, getting 17th here. This doesn't necessarily reflect badly on Swedish's year, since PPU is on the rise, and Hungrybox is, well, Hungrybox, but unfortunately it doesn't particularly help his case either. Finally, at Optic Arena, Swedish took 5th, losing to Hungrybox and Absent Page but defeating None. Absent Page at this point isn't an awful loss at all, and None is a pretty good win. Overall, I think that Swedish's year has been decent, but not quite living up to his current rank of 16th. I personally feel that he deserves a spot around the 20th rank, although he's had some pretty good performances, such as at Flatiron and Gommel. He also has a couple of really questionable results like Genesis, Smash Valley, and NFA2. And getting knocked out early at tournaments like EGLX, Full Bloom, and Smash and Splash don't really help his case either. Looking forward, however, I predict that Swedish will once again begin to consistently perform at the top 15 level that he's held for the past few years. Along with his general trend of doing better lately, there are some important events that I think are also worth looking at. In terms of Swedish's life outside of Melee, he took the MCAT between Full Bloom and Scarlet Classic. For those of you who don't know what that is, it's the entrance exam for medical school and is infamously tough. With that over, the stress and time put into preparing it is also done, which seems to have manifested itself in the upswing in Swedish's performances since. Additionally, between Flatiron and Gommel, Swedish was sponsored by OG Esports and also attended Summit as a buy-in. Sponsorship and Summit are 2 pretty decent indicators of future improvement, so I wouldn't be surprised to see Swedish's performances continue to pick up throughout the year. And that's about it for this video. I was honestly pretty surprised by the reception of the last one, and I'm really happy you guys liked it. Although this video's got less numbers and data in it, I hope it was still interesting. Let me know what you think. With that said, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.